I was at my coach's office today. They do a content day every couple of weeks, and 3 of the women who are in my mastermind actually live locally, so they were there in person, and so we had a moment where one was sitting to the left of me, one was sitting to the right of me, and one was standing up in front of me. One is in the nutrition industry. Her name is Julia. You can look her up, Eat More with Julia. And then Cassie was sitting beside me, Cassie Black, and Jamie was ahead of me. She is a virtual interior designer, and I'll link to all 3 of them below because they're fabulous. But we were sitting there and we were actually talking about recording ads because Jamie, she actually sent me a message this morning. I was going to pull it up for you. Let me see. So Jamie sent me this message this morning because what happens is when you start running your ads, you're just kind of in motion. Like you're getting into conversations, great things are happening, and sometimes you forget to take inventory of how is everything performing, especially when you're having success like Jamie. Jamie is so good at virtual interior design. And so when and she's also just a great communicator. She's so warm. She's a mom. She just connects with you really well. And she's really good at taking your vision and bringing it to life. And so when she's running these Google ads, she's running these Meta ads. And so when people are finding her, now that she's become findable, she's getting into these conversations and her close rate is pretty high. And so when you start getting leads consistently, sometimes you actually forget to like look at what you're spending because it's irrelevant. When you are profiting so well and leads are just coming in, sometimes you legitimately forget how much you're spending because it's not an issue. You're like, hey, I'm getting way more than what I'm paying for. And so she took some time to do some math and she texted me this morning, actually, before I saw her in person. And I'm going to do some quick math here. So she has generated about $12,000 in revenue. So it looks like her return is almost a 5-to-1 return. So with Jamie, she's trading $1 and getting 5 in return. So one thing Jamie and I are going to talk about this week is how can we scale that? How can you keep spending more and more and more? Now, the cool thing is Jamie, when she was first getting started with her business, what is your initial stress when you start a business? It's how am I going to get clients? That's your stress. And then now she's become findable. She's got her marketing skills. And so now the new stress that we're about to create in her business is, oh my gosh, she's one person. Is she at capacity? How does she grow this business and grow her team? So it's really exciting. It's fun problems to have. So as we were standing there talking today, we were talking about her results and then we were talking about Cassie's results. And Cassie had a really good first launch of her program. Now she wants to scale it too, but as far as profitability goes, she was profitable out of the gates on her first launch, which is just so exciting. And one thing that we were talking about is why did Cassie's ads perform so well? And one of the reasons that she attributed it to is because she practiced. And I was thinking about how, because she's in the mastermind, one of the things that she gets access to is Voxer. And so we will chat back and forth on Voxer. And she was filming her ads and sending them to me. And then when she would send them to me, I would give her feedback. And I'm like, hey, I love you. And we're going to re-record it and think about this and this and this because she is so receptive to feedback. And so, in fact, most of the women that I work with, one of the prerequisites when I meet with them is, hey, how do you handle feedback? Are you willing to kind of think of things differently? Like that's a really important piece because I am not the friend that you'll send a video to or the, business coach or marketing coach where you send something to me and I don't like it for certain reasons. I'm not going to say, "Hey, that's a really good job. Let's just launch it." I say, "Hey, I love you and we're re-recording this and here's why." And so it's just so cool watching someone just go all in and it not be good and then get feedback and get feedback. And so I feel like I had to give Cassie less feedback. I was like, what was it? Why did I have to give her less feedback? And it's because there are these elements that she incorporated into her videos naturally, and maybe some strategy that I shared with her. And I wanted to share it with you, actually. That's why we're here today. So we're going to talk about 10 things you really need to think about before you click play or go on that next ad. Okay. So we're going to go down a list. Now, I say it's 10 things, but I'm probably going to make up more. And actually on my list, I have like 12 right now, and I'll probably have 14 by the time we're done because there's so many little things that I want you to think about before you click play on your next ad. And when I say next ad, it could be and I'm really actually talking about video recording. So for this, I'm specifically talking about if you are recording a video of you, or really a video of anything, but let's primarily focus for this episode on a video of you. So in the Marketing Matters program, you learn how to become findable on Google, how to become findable on YouTube, how to become findable on TikTok or Meta, how to use email, how to let Google know optimize your website for SEO. There's so many elements, but for today, I am specifically referring to when you are recording a video of you, what matters. And so if you want to get your notes out and take some notes and actually pause or write this down, put a note in your phone, I would highly recommend it, because what you think is common knowledge and common sense and just like everybody knows, I want to assure you they don't. There's so many times the women I get to work with, they'll send me a video. I'm like, hey, like, quick thing, let's talk about this. I actually told one of my clients, I love her so much. She sent me an ad this week, and Jamie, I love you. I love you. I love you. She sent me an ad of her with sunglasses on, and they were dark sunglasses. So I said, listen, Jamie, your eyes are the windows to the soul, and I can't see them and I can't connect with you. But truly, all joking aside, the connection element is really important. In fact, that's really why we do video, is to connect. So sunglasses is one of them, but let's go through everything that matters, the 10 or so things that I want you to think about before you click go on any time you're going to get on camera and talk. Now, this also could benefit you if you post organically on YouTube. This could benefit you if you post organically on social media. This is for you when you click go on any camera recording ever, okay? All right, so we're going to jump into these 10 things, but really quickly, speaking of being on camera and being in a room and putting yourself in those places, I want to invite you into a room with other female entrepreneurs just like you. If you've ever had a moment where you're celebrating something huge. In fact, I actually went to a party this past weekend with one of my friends who just started a jewelry business, a luxury, premium, beautiful jewelry business. And I was actually talking to Kyle about upgrading my diamond. It's been something that I think would be so special for an anniversary at some point. I love my diamond, but I was thinking, hey, we've grown. It would be really cool if the diamond grew. Or am I just selling myself? I don't know. I wanted to feel, I wanted a new ring. Okay, there it is. I did. I just wanted it. And so we went to this jewelry party, found the most beautiful ring. And after I checked in with my friend and I asked her, I said, "How did it go?" And she said it went exceptionally well. And she shared with me how it went. And it's so nice when you can actually just talk to someone and say, "Hey, I achieved this thing and it's tied to financials." That's awesome. Why do we have this thing where we don't want to share money wins? But what if we started to view money as a representation of impact? What if one way that you thought about money was, wow, she must be impacting a lot of people's lives. She must be serving people so well. She must be offering so much value. And in my opinion, this woman who I went to her jewelry party, she did. They were. There's so, because it's so much more than just jewelry. It's so much more than just the ring. It's about how you feel, and it's about who you become, and it's about just stepping into whatever you're stepping into, whether it's motherhood, whether it's business meeting, whether it's picking up your kids from school, but just stepping into that environment and not thinking about you. It's so selfless. You're not thinking about you because you feel so confident in you that you can actually offer your best version to everybody else. And so something as simple as jewelry can just change and transform how you feel as a person, and the confidence that you get to bring and the attitude that you get to bring to serve and impact those you get to work with. So that's not the point of today's episode, but it actually, one of the things we talk about in this list of 10 things is about how you look in your ad. So we'll get there. But the reason I told you that story about this new business she started is because it's so nice to have a community of other women who, when you say, hey, let's just pretend I made six figures this day. I made $10,000 for my first month. I made my first $333,000 month. It's kind of lonely when you hit these big victories and you grow these businesses because you're impacting and serving and you have no one to share that excitement with. No one to say, hey, way to go. How did it happen? What can we do differently? And just strategize with you and encourage you and say, oh, yeah, it's no problem to do a $300,000 month, $500,000 month. Let's do that. Let's talk about it. Where can we improve? Do you have feedback for me? I have feedback for you. It feels so good to be in a room with people who are like that, who can see you, challenge you, encourage you, inspire you. And that's the room I want to invite you into January 14th and 15th in Alpharetta, Georgia at the Marketing Matters Summit. So comment summit, click the link below this video or podcast and get on the wait list because the wait list will be opening sometime this fall. I'm not telling you when, but what I can say is that when it opens, there's going to be something special, like an incentive that you will get for being one of those first movers and shakers, and the room will sell out because the room is at capacity at 500, which we will absolutely be selling out. So it's really excited. I can't wait. It's really exciting. I can't wait to see you there. Now let's talk about these 10 things that you can think about when you go to record your next video or ad or even organic post. So I've got my list in front of me, so I'm looking at it. The first one is actually, before I tell you that, last thing I want to tell you, this is why this matters. The reason this matters is because someone is going to evaluate or get a first impression of you within less than 1 second. And so your ability to connect and build trust and capture attention as quickly as humanly possible in today's world is the most important thing. And if you can't do that, if you can't build trust and connect and get attention, then nothing else that you say or do in that ad matters. And so you being able to reach and connect with those people who you created your business for, who you know that you can impact, whether it's jewelry or a chiropractic adjustment or hair or a boutique or selling a home, whatever it is that you have to offer, what you really have to offer, that joy, that peace, that relief, that confidence, that excitement, that empowerment, that's what you're transferring, that's what you're selling. And it is so important that your message connects with those people because the last thing you want, right, is to do all this work and post a video and the ideal people that you created your business for, they scroll right past or they start it and they're out. That's the worst, right? So these are the strategies that can make your hard work worth it and actually require less of you because you do it the right way the first time. So these are the things I want you to think about. Number one, smile. I want you to smile. You can even hear, if you're listening, you can hear when I'm smiling, right? Versus when I'm not. You can hear that straightforward face. And on a video, they're not just hearing, they're seeing. And so you having that warmth and smiling is an opportunity to connect with them. And it actually builds trust. I do research all of the time on why is it important for you to smile? Why is it important for XYZ? And that connection is really it. And actually part of the Marketing Matters method that I teach. I'm not going to go into the intricacies of what the method is here, but what I can say is connection matters. And it's a piece of the formula that I believe works so well in my business and my clients' businesses. So make sure you are connecting through smiling. Now, listen, what I'm not asking you to do is do like this the whole time. When you're like, this looks crazy. If you did this all the time, it would be weird. If you're watching on YouTube, you're like, she looks crazy. You don't want to do that. But what you do want to say is, hey, I'm so glad you're here. If this is your challenge, like you can just smile initially, smile a little bit throughout, and at the end, what you don't want to do is monotone and not think about smiling. And if you don't actually think, oh yeah, remember smile, you won't. So smile. Number two, lighting. Lighting, lighting, lighting. Some of the ads I have seen from you, and or at least some of my clients, it's like you're in a dark closet or you're in a kitchen with no lighting, or you are in a bedroom and there's not great lighting, or you're in your car and there's not great lighting. Have good lighting. I'm sitting in front of a window recording this, and I also have a ring light. I don't go anywhere not looking bright and clear and crisp because that clarity communicates credibility. And so I really want you to think about just having good lighting and don't record it if there's not good lighting. Because if someone's going to watch a video, it needs to be something visually appealing and clear and easy. And if they're squinting or being like, what is that? Or they're distracted, then they're not going to keep watching. So your lighting matters. By the way, wipe off your camera. I feel like someone out there needs to, like actually Leslie, one of my friends, she has over 100,000 followers now. She's done a great job of growing her Instagram organically. And I'll never forget, she sent me a message. She said, Ashley, did you like wipe off your camera? And I never thought about that, but now I do. Every time before I do anything, I wipe off my camera. So Please tell me if this was helpful for you because it was for me to just say, "Oh yeah, let me like wipe off my camera." They say the easiest things not to do are the easiest things to do. So it's that. It's like, "Hey, that's so simple. So wipe your camera." The next thing is sound. So one of my clients, she owns CJW Pinot Ranch. So they do farm raised beef, pork, and chicken, and they can ship a whole cow to you or half a cow or a bundle of just farm raised, fresh, healthy, good beef. And she was doing an ad and she had her baby on her hip, which I told her, I'm like, you're a family farm. Like, have the baby, walk in the field, and she was doing it and the wind was blowing. So she actually sounded good and I could actually hear it, but the wind was so distracting. So I did say, I love you and we're going to re-record it. So really make sure that your sound quality is great. And I'm recording on this Rode podcast mic. So I will link it below this episode. I love this mic. I'm talking in it like really clearly right now, but it's a very, very good microphone. And I feel like I can absolutely drastically hear the difference when I did my trainings before I had the podcast mic. So I highly recommend that. Now, when you're doing an Instagram reel, you could actually get like a travel mic, like one that connects to through Bluetooth so that no matter how far away you are, you have good audio. I would recommend it. Or have the phone really close to you so it's picking up that audio well, but don't have screaming. Some of you have dogs, right? And you know what? You can't hear anymore. You can't hear dog barks because your like ears are numb to it because it's like part of your everyday. And all I can hear is your dog barking. So please think about, are there animals? Are there doorbells? Is there construction? Is there wind? Go in a quiet environment so that your audio is not distracting. Next thing, your background. Your background. This is something someone gave me feedback on recently. They're like, Ashley, we don't want to see your bed. Fair. If you're looking at me and all you're seeing is a bed, and the fact that you thought I have a bed behind me constantly is distracting, guess what I'm not going to do? I'm not going to record where there's a bed behind me. Or if I am, I'm going to conceal it and you'll never know. So consider your background. And also, it's so much more than just having a bed. It is let's talk about cognitive dissonance. Do you know what cognitive dissonance is? You probably do. It's where you have two conflicting beliefs. So, for example, if you are a professional organizer, two of my clients are professional organizers right now, actually multiple. Okay, I have a lot of professional organizing clients. I must attract the type A, like organizing people. I love it so much. So, a belief that I have about these individuals, these women, is that they are organized and I trust them with my organization. Now, if they were to record an ad and in their background there was disorganization, I would have this belief they're a professional organizer and they can help me. And then I have this other belief that says they can't help me because they're disorganized. Do you see how those two conflict? The last thing you want is to have a distracting background. Maybe you have a grocery bag on the counter. Maybe the lights are off and there's like a cord dangling. You know how when you're looking at a TV and there's a bunch of strings dangling? My eyes go to the strings. I can't stop. I'm like, hide the strings, get a bungee cord or something to tie them away. It's so distracting. You want the focal point of your video to be you. You want them to connect with you. You want them to not be distracted by anything else behind you. So when you record, remove the background distractions. Take a minute, look at yourself in the video on your phone or on your computer, wherever you're recording it, and just look at the background. Right now, all you see is a beautiful, clean, simple office and a whiteboard and a microphone. You see nothing that is distracting anymore. It used to be, but you don't want to have bright color, anything that is just super distracting. Okay. So clean up your background. Don't have a mess on the floor by the lamp. If I can remotely see chaos, it's going to build distrust. Whether I know you could be the best stylist, you could be the best hair salon owner, you could be the best chiropractor. But if I'm looking at Hot Mess Express in your bottom right corner and there's a diaper on the floor and a dirty clothes basket that's overflowing, I am distracted and it's going to dampen your credibility. And you don't want that, right? You want them to have no reason not to say, hey, they take care of themselves so they can take care of me. In fact, that actually leads to the next point, which is how you look. Here's what matters when you think about how you look on an ad. Two things, and you know this is true, but how you look can reflect, can really impact how you feel. My stylist, Charla, I love you. She helped me get dressed today. I was like, what do I do? I'm going to my coaches. I'm recording a podcast episode. What do I wear? So she put me, I don't know if you can see on YouTube, but she put me in this matching monochromatic green little blazer suit or like a vest suit thing. And she said, simple on the earrings, hair back, lip on, very simple. Like she really did truly help me get dressed. And I felt fabulous. And what I wasn't worried about was walking in and be like, are they worried about how I look? I kind of feel bad. Does this make my arms look weird? Is this like the wrong color? Like I didn't even think about me. I actually only thought about everybody else because of how I felt. And you can't transfer what you don't have, right? So when you have confidence and belief, you can transfer confidence and belief into others too, because no matter what you're selling, it matters what you transfer. So, or what you're marketing, really. So how you look is it allows you to be selfless and like serve those other people because you just feel great. There's no way when you look in the mirror and you know how when maybe you just came back from the beach and your hair is fresh and maybe you've got, a glow to your skin or you got new earrings or you just got your nails done. Don't you just feel nice? You feel clean. You're like, you're actually in a place where you're like, I actually hope I not run into one of my friends so I can see them and say hello because you feel great about you. That's a good thing. When someone comes to me and they're like, I did this, whatever it is to look good, or you're doing all these workouts, or you're doing this new diet, or you're getting augmentation. Like, I support you doing whatever it takes for you to feel good about you because it's not exterior. It's about how you feel from the inside. So on your ads, listen, if you get on the camera and you're wearing what I call my Sunday bra, my Sunday bra is not very constricting. It's like real relaxed. If you're on camera and all I see is Sunday bra, I'm a human. I'm going to be distracted. So that's why take a look at inventory. Don't wear sunglasses. And my recommendation is to not look. I'm trying to say this the right way. I think if you're listening, you know my heart, right? So I'm just going to say it. Please don't look like a hot mess express on camera because do you know what that's going to say? It's going to say to me, she walks like a duck, talks like a duck, quacks like a duck, looks like a hot mess express, is a hot mess express, sounds like a hot mess express. And what I don't want to do is pay money to trust someone who I don't trust to take care of themselves. If they can't take care of themselves, they can't take care of me, right? If their life is disorganized, I'm scared that with their work with me, they're disorganized. Now, it depends on the industry. That is just my honest opinion, and I hope you know my heart with where I'm coming from. But just think about how do you feel and what does how you come into the room say? Does it add value? Does it create credibility? Does it build trust? Or could it deter trust and deter credibility? That is all. I love you. All right. So the next one is have a call to action. Lord have mercy. If you're going to market your business, the definition of marketing is to promote your product and service. So if you're going to do marketing and run ads, have a call to action, promote your business, have a next step. It's just like my toddler or my baby and my almost 4-year-old, when I guide him into the playroom and he sees so many options, he may not know what to do, but I say, hey, baby, will you go build me a submarine with the magnet tiles? I'm giving him direction. And so he'll do it. By saying, go play, it's like, what should I play with? It's like, oh, let me guide you. It feels safe. It feels secure. Guide them into their next step. Okay. Have a CTA, a call to action. So number 1, smile. Number 2, lighting. Number 3, have good sound. Number 4, have your background. Number 5, don't look hot mess express. Number 6, have a call to action. Number 7, consider telling a story. So when we were chatting today at my coach's office, Cassie was talking about how she practiced her ads like multiple times because I was like, how are they so good? Why did she send me ads that were just so good? And she was like, and I asked her and she was like, oh, I practiced them. She practiced them. And everything that you are good at, you likely are good at because you practiced. I'm good at marketing because I've practiced for over a decade with hundreds of business owners and literally $200 million. I have practiced and practiced, and you have practiced and practiced your thing too. And so you have the opportunity to tell a story. And so when you're telling a story, practice it. Actually go through and record yourself in your marketing, giving that client win, giving that example, tying two things together. So consider telling a story and having that story ahead of you recording in your brain that you can refer to. The next thing, number 8, is pace. So this is just an Ashley-ism. I wrote this down. I wrote, no blank space keeps you on pace. No blank space keeps you on pace. What is blank space? It's that. I just created it. Unless you're listening to me on, 3x speed, I just paused and I paused again. When you have those pauses like I just did, what happens is you're like, it almost creates anxiety. You're like, what is this blank space? Like, please keep going. Our attention span is so limited. And so what I don't want you to do is have blank space in your ads. This is just my opinion. It should be tight. I'm just going to stop there. It should be tight and crisp and pieced together very quickly so that there isn't a pause or a delay in what you're saying. So you have two options. Here's the trick. You ready for an Ashley hack? So, two things. Either record a full take and just talk normally. And then when you go to edit, crop your spacing out or use a tool like Capwing that will automatically cut the spaces and the ands and the ums and everything out for you. Your other option is to just record 1 or 2 sentences at a time if that's all you can remember. Then you can piece it together that way. Whatever it is, if you are recording an ad where you're talking to camera, keep it tight. All right. So that's about pace. Okay. Your pace matters. Don't have blank space. Keeps you on pace. Number 9 is just really think about how often you're saying my or I and replace it with you and your. It's so easy to be like, with my program, you will get XYZ instead of saying you will get XYZ inside of this program. Such a subtlety. I'm not going to spend too much time on that one, but you really need to think about, is your ad all about you? Because I'll say it once, I'll say it forever. When you talk to them about them, they'll listen. When you talk to them about you, they won't. So this whole episode is about what you can do for your ads to be effective. And that's why you're listening. And so your audience wants to listen to you because you are speaking to them. So literally just speak to them. Say you instead of I and my. Okay? Cool. The next one, so that was 8 is pace, 9 is you, 10 is movement. I just want you to have movement, whether it's movement with your body, whether it's movement, maybe you're walking or getting ready. People love the getting ready. You're in one place and the next place and the next place. You can have movement and cuts, but your movement could literally be a caption. Your movement could be a GIF. It's any sort of movement that like keeps the eyes entertained and engaged. Okay, that movement element matters. The next one, I have more, but wait, there's more. Number 11 is this is kind of sentimental, but if you know me, you know I'm cheesy and you know I just like warm and fuzzy things. And honestly, my love language, in case you're wondering, is physical touch and words of affirmation. So give me a hug and tell me something good, but I also love feedback. That's besides the point. Let's talk about this cheesy thing. And I'm serious. I want you to do this. I want you to, before you record your next ad, I want you to think the thought of who is this for and how do I want them to feel? I'm not kidding you. I will write down and I will say, this ad is for this person and I want them to feel encouraged. This ad is for this person and I want them to feel inspired. This ad is for this person and I want them to feel belief in themselves. This ad is for this person because I want them to feel productive. I want them to feel like they have a plan. I want them to feel like they're anticipating, like they can't wait to turn on their ads. So when you're recording something, really sit down and think, how do you want to make people feel? Because when you do, your tone will change. Your vibe, even just me talking about this, I feel like I'm getting in my warm mom mode and I want to hug somebody. Because I'm really thinking, like, who is this for? One of you is listening and you took one thing and that one thing is going to make a difference in your next ad. And you are going to think about this episode and these notes you took before you record, and that makes my heart really happy. Like, okay, that is serving. And you have to remember you're doing that too in some capacity. I don't care if you're selling a shirt. It's not about the shirt. It's about how that woman or man or woman feels in that shirt and who they get to become in that shirt. So get your heart strings out and really think about, how do you want people to feel before you record this video, and who is it for? Think of a specific person. The next thing, which is number 12, oh, I already talked about that one. It's one sentence at a time, because you can record in bulk or you can do one sentence at a time. The next thing I want you to think about is, okay, we already talked about sunglasses. Okay, this is actually the last one. And, oh, sorry, there's two more. I have so many ideas. I have so many notes. So one other thing that really matters, one of my good friends, I'm not going to say her name, but she's listening to this episode. And when she does listen, she's going to text me. But she does this thing because she's so smart and she has corporate experience. And so what she does is she has two voices. She has friend voice and she has corporate business voice. Okay. And corporate business voice sounds like you're presenting to a room. And when you do this thing, you can have this result. And it's like, whoa, what was that? And that's not exactly her. It's actually a mix of a few people that I hear. And it's like, whoa, what is happening? What is happening? You are honestly trying. And you know how people say you're trying too hard? That's not a bad thing. It's like, wow, you are trying so hard that you actually don't need to try that hard. Like, the good news when I look at someone and say, this video is great, but you don't sound great, you're trying too hard. The good news is that what that really means is you can just be you. You don't have to try. You're actually good, in fact, great enough as you are. And so many of you in your brain, you think there's this different voice, this different tone, this different professionalism that must come off crisp and perfect in order to record an ad. And that is not true. People want to buy from you because it's you. And your credibility can be demonstrated through everything else that we just talked about, right? That is what your credibility can do. It's how you look, it's how you communicate. And so you absolutely do not have to put on a different voice or be a different person. You can actually just be you. And so I don't want you to have business voice and personal voice. It's the same voice. You're the same person, and that's what matters. Okay. So consider that you're just talking to one person and your goal is to just be relatable and to be easy to listen to. No one wants to buy from someone who's honestly working to be perfect. In fact, the fact that I don't like edit pieces of this podcast is because this is just me. Sometimes my words aren't perfect. I'm pretty sure I make up words half the time, and I'm totally fine with that because that's just me. And people actually want the you that's just you. You don't need to be perfect. That's not relatable. Perfection is like the opposite of relatable, right? So think about your voices and think about just talking to a friend, just talking to the soul of the person that you know that you can serve. Okay. So that's your voice. Don't talk like it's an ad. And you know why I say don't talk like it's an ad? I don't want you to talk like it's an ad because it's just a human. And when you post on Instagram, it's just a human. That's it. You're talking to a human, whether you are hoping they find you organically or you're paying so that they can find you with ads. And then the very last tip that I have for you, so I guess technically this is number 14 or 15, and I'll rapid fire through them one last time for you, is one of my clients. She owns a very, very successful jewelry business. It's called Kiss This Makeup. And if you are looking to get makeup done or hair done for a bridal party or for an event for lots of people all at once, then Kiss This Makeup is really great. They're in I think 4 or 5 different towns. You can look them up on Google. And she asked me on our last call, she said, Ashley, can you do a training about just camera presentation and confidence? And I shared with her that the very thing to help you have that confidence on camera is to just get on camera every day. That's it. And I said this already today, but it's so tempting to compare yourself to everybody else and you see someone who's good at something and you're like, God, how is it that easy? And there's so much behind the scenes that we don't see, right? And my biggest belief is that to get good at something, you have to be willing to be bad at it for quite a long time. And so that's what I want for you is to see how long can you go to get in front of everybody and just not be great at it, but do it anyway. Because that is the thing that gives you the confidence to do it just so well. So, the way to have confidence on camera is to get on camera and do it. And all right, so I hope that was really helpful. Let's go through everything that we just talked about in this list. So, first one is smile. Second thing is make sure you have good lighting. Third thing is consider your sound and that there's no distracting background sound. Number four is make sure that your background is clean and organized and not distracting. Number five is consider how you look, AKA also how you feel when you come on camera. Number six is have a call to action in the end. Always guide them to a next step. Number seven is tell a story. Number eight is consider your pace. Number nine is infuse you and trade you or trade my for you. Number 10 is have movement. Number 11 is think about the thoughts that you have before you hit record for the people that you're creating the content for. Number 12 is consider recording either all at once and cropping for the pace or just recording one sentence at a time. Number 13 is consider your voice. Does it feel, if it feels like you're being a different person, you're probably trying too hard and you can actually just be you and just have your natural voice. Let's see. I think that was number 13. Yep. Don't talk like it's an ad, just talk like it's a person. Number 14 is record every single day. And number 15 is don't wear sunglasses. All right, I hope that was really helpful. Like I said earlier, I would love to see you at the Marketing Matters Summit, January 14th and 15th. You can click the link below to sign up to get on the wait list for the summit or get your ticket. I cannot wait to see you on the next episode.